Okay, let's glance at the SPY before I go into the watch list for Monday, October 17th. The SPY is still in this range, but in the in the lower end of the range, and feels pretty heavy. A lot of red candles lately. You had the one day where it broke support, but then ended up closing back up in its range. But you know what? It feels heavy. And doing my scans this weekend, I did not find a lot of setups, and that's sort of a tell too. When you do scans day in, day out, week after week, year after year, you start to sense from your scans when things are turning. All right, so things have felt kind of weak lately. And having said that, before I go into the list, just going to show you a couple CTRV, which probably should be on watch with that kind of a move, but it's extended. But real quick, I'll show you this. I want to try to use the watch list videos to just show you a couple highlights to give you an idea of what we look for in the chat room. And I called CTRV on Friday over 160, right? Had this nice pop. It was already on our watch list and had kind of flagging, and the early high was 165. So just called it over 160. Worst case stop like a nickel below. And look at that. It had a really nice move, got through 2, and ended up closing pretty close to 2. Probably ought to keep that on a chart somewhere, even though it's pretty extended. And another shout out to Wayne, who called REN on Friday. After this first pullback, he said just a break of 32, so 32.01. Worst case stop, probably like, I think it was 38 cents below, and it gave us over $1 at one point from there. So there's a couple highlights from the room on Friday, just to give you an idea of the kind of the low risk setups we look for. The watch list that I have put together for Monday, AEZS, had a nice 2.5 day run before reversing, and then a red day now. On Friday, much lower volume. I look for this one to potentially turn back up. I like the fact when something makes a huge move, a lot of times if you can just get a 1 day pullback, it could resume. This could also just keep going down forever. We don't know, but we're going to look for a possible intraday setup. It's a fairly low float stock, moved like crazy back here. It's certainly worth watching. It had a really nice move for a couple days there and goes on the watch list. NVFY, I like this a lot more than I did the last couple days. Remember when it looked like this? If you watch my videos every day, you notice I said it really needs to come in a couple more days, and then it becomes really interesting. Well, now it's down below the 8 day, hopefully putting in a higher low here, and I'm looking for this thing to maybe turn back up on Monday. Certainly, I like the 3 day pullback. Volume the last couple days has been really light, and this thing really made a nice huge move here and a nice huge move here. So it's a great candidate, one of my favorites going into Monday. Sort of the same setup here. IPCI, nice pop, pull back, and then another nice pop 3 days lower. Let's watch for that one to possibly turn back up. HTGM, really huge move back here, and now you're 2 days lower. Very low volume on Friday. This one, same as the others, looking for a possible turn back up, only with a proper intraday setup. OCUL gapped up on news on Thursday and then came back in for 2 days. Now it's back to support. Had trouble with the 200-day here, so maybe this one's ready to turn back up. Being back at support and having had good news a few sessions ago, I think it's worth watching. BSPM had a huge move. I think they announced a secondary offering, so it's back down. But a lot of times, volume's really tailing off on this. This could give us a surprise turn back up. Obviously, it's had some good news, or it wouldn't have made this run. So they might be ready to dismiss the worries about the offering and say, hey, the news is good enough. Maybe this thing turns back up. And then this one, you have to squint to see it. And even if you squint, you might not see it. But RGSE had a huge move here from, $2 to 8 or whatever, and then came back down. And now it's really found support just above 2. So one of these days, it might just take off to the upside. I don't have any kind of crystal clear, hey, here's a great trigger price or anything like that. But it certainly goes on watch. And that is my watch list for Monday. And before I jump off here, I also want to mention Wayne and I are doing a free webinar on Thursday, October 20th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The topic, how to analyze your trading, and the description, why it's important to review your trades on a daily basis. And we are going to, stick around and take questions about that topic, or really about anything that we do trading. So it should be a fun webinar. Seats are limited, so if you didn't get my email, you can shoot me an email to inquire about it, and we can shoot you a registration link. But as soon as it's full, it's full, and if you miss it, or if it's full before you get to it, hopefully we'll be able to put on more of these in the future. I kind of view this as the first webinar in a long-going series of webinars, and they'll be on weeknights. And we'll just keep talking about different topics, But again, on Thursday, October 20th at 8:30 Eastern Time, PM, it's going to be about how to analyze your trades, all right? And basically why it's super important to review your trades every day. I think you're going to learn a lot, and it's going to be pretty eye-opening if you don't do any kind of tracking of your own trades or any kind of trading journal. You'd be surprised how important that is, all right? So anyway, I'm done babbling. We will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.